Appeal Court sacks Governor Abba Kabir of Kano State. Court remands former CBN Governor Emefiele in Kuje prison. Troops neutralize 6 bandits, recover 40 police military uniforms in Kaduna. On the foreign scene, magnitude 6.7 quake shakes South Philippines, kills 1, dozens injured. These are the headlines on Trust TV News Update at this hour. I am Ayuba Ila. Thanks for joining. We begin with litigations. The appeal court sitting in Abuja has upheld the judgment of the Kano Governorship Election Tribunal, which sacked Abba Kabir of the NNPP and declared APC's Nasir Gawuna valid winner of the election. In a unanimous judgment read by Justice M.A. Adome, the appellate court held that Abba Kabir was not a valid candidate of the NNPP at the time of the governorship election, while chiding the lower court for not disqualifying the appellant in the first instance. Shafiu Suleiman reports.
In what may likely cause socio-political ripples across Kano State, Governor Abba Kabir has been sacked by the appeal court after losing the first round of the litigation battle at the tribunal. The tribunal has invalidated his 165,663 votes to declare Yusuf Gawuna of APC authentic winner of the poll. Delivering judgment on the 9 issues for determination by the appellant Abba Kabir, the appellate court panel of justices held that the lower tribunal was right to have found and deducted the unsigned NNPP candidates' votes, right in admitting the certified true copies of the result as evidence. It went further to question the tribunal's inability to disqualify Abba Kabir on grounds that he was not a member of the NNPP at the time of the election in contravention of certain sections of the Constitution.
The Court of Appeal agreed with the decision of the tribunal to deduct the 165,000 invalid votes that were cast in favor of NNPP. We have stated it even before we filed the petition that the NNPP did not win by a majority of the valid votes, and also NNPP did not have a valid candidate. Today we have been justified. The Court of Appeal has upheld our argument. All the 3 appeals filed by Abba Kabir Yusuf, NNPP and INEC has been dismissed, and of course our cross appeal has been upheld.
The appellate court strongly cautioned political parties against subverting provisions of the Constitution in party internal affairs with impunity, while awarding 1 million naira fine against the appellant. Shafiu Suleiman, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Our reporter in Kano, Idris Jibrin, gave a situation report on the mood in the state.
Well, although it is not the end of it all, but this is the moment the people of Kano State have all been waiting for. I'm talking about those from the All Progressive Congress, APC, and those from the New Nigeria People's Party. As the appeal court pronounced its judgment, you can see the mood of Kano. Now, this place I am standing on is one of the major roads within Kano metropolis. This is Murtala Mohammed Way. And behind me, down there, this is the road that links motorists to the popular Abubakar Rimi market, the popular Singa market. Now you can see how people, following the announcement of this judgment, you can see how people are rushing, coming down from the market. Some of them to their previous, to their places, to their houses. People are rushing, leaving the market, because they don't know what will happen. There might be a kind of uncertainty among the people, even though it's too early to say this is what will happen or this is what is happening in Kano. But I can tell you that following the announcement of this result, most parents, especially those in private school, earlier in the morning, I've told you many students could not go to school. They choose to remain at home. But I have seen people from those whose children are attending private school rushing to pick their children from school. But then people are also rushing back home. Even though today is Friday, it may look like these people are coming to go to the mosque. but definitely these are people coming from various markets across Kano State. Now, I've been talking to some people in Kano State in reaction to this judgment. Some are happy, some are not happy, especially those from the New Nigeria People's Party are not happy with the judgment of the appeal court. Those of the All Progressive Congress are celebrating and jubilating. Maybe later in the day we may see the kind of celebration that will be taken across Kano State, because today, I told you, today is Friday, but at the moment the situation is calm. We have not seen any violence or breakdown of law and order. We have seen presence of policemen going all over Kano State to ensure the protection of lives and property.
In the meantime, the appeal court sitting in Abuja has affirmed the election of Governor Bala Mohammed of Bauchi State. Recall that the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) had declared Bala of the People's Democratic Party winner of the March 18 governorship election. But the candidate of the All Progressives Congress, Sadiq Abubakar, rejected the outcome of the election and sought redress in the court. The Bauchi State Governorship Election Tribunal had dismissed the APC's candidate's petition upholding the election of Bala, but Sadiq dragged the matter to the appeal court, insisting that the March 18 poll was marred by irregularities. However, ruling on the matter on Friday, the panel of 3 justices who were unanimous upheld the verdict of the tribunal. In a similar vein, Zamfara State Governor Dauda Lawal has described the appeal court's verdict as a temporary setback for his administration. The court's 3-judge panel declared the Zamfara State governorship election inconclusive on Thursday, ordering a rerun in 3 local government areas: Maradun, Birni Magaji, and Bukuyum. A statement released on Friday by the governor's spokesman, Suleiman Bala Idris, stressed that the governor, Lawal, was elected due to dissatisfaction with the state's prevailing conditions. According to the statement, the outcome of the governorship election on March 18th accurately reflected the people's desire for a shift towards positive development and progress. Governor Lawal appealed to the people of Zamfara State to remain calm, adding that his legal team is thoroughly reviewing the verdict and will follow through with the necessary actions to achieve a just outcome. The Independent National Electoral Commission on Friday presented the certificate of return to the winner of the last Saturday governorship election in Kogi, Ahmed Usman Ododo, and his deputy, Comrade Joel Salifu. The governor-elect Ododo, who contested the election on the platform of the All Progressives Congress, won the 11th November off-season governorship election in the state. According to the INEC, the APC candidate polled 446,237 votes to defeat the candidate of the Social Democratic Party, Murtala Ajaka, with 259,052 votes. Presenting the certificate, the Kogi State Resident Electoral Commissioner, Gabriel Longpet, said that the presentation was part of the Commission's constitutional mandate. He said Usman Ododo was being presented the certificate, having met the constitutional requirements. Speaking shortly after receiving his certificate, the governor-elect assured the people that he will make good his campaign promise to build on the sterling achievement of Governor Yahaya Bello while preserving the unity of the state. Meanwhile, the governor of Imo State, Hope Uzodinma, on Friday received his certificate of return in Owerri, the state capital, following last Saturday's governorship election. In his speech, the governor congratulated the Independent National Electoral Commission for conducting the freest, fairest, and most peaceful election in the history of Imo State. Uzodinma swept all the 27 local government areas in the state in a landslide victory to defeat Samuel Anyao of the People's Democratic Party and Neji Achonu, Labour Party candidate, his main rivals in the election. Now, the APC candidate polled 540,308 votes to defeat his closest rivals, PDP's Anyao, who scored 71,503 votes, and LP's Achonu, who got 64,081 votes.
A few minutes ago, I received the certificate of return from the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, as the duly elected governor of Imo State for my second and final tenure. I also dedicated the victory first to Almighty God, from whom all powers come. I equally dedicated my victory to Imo people who massively voted for me and those who voted for other candidates. Let me once more congratulate the people of Imo State. It is our victory. Victory for those who voted for, and victory for those who voted against. Let me once more use this auspicious moment to congratulate Independent National Electoral Commission for conducting the freest, fairest, and most peaceful election in the history of Imo State.
Justice Hamza Muazu of the High Court of the Federal Capital Territory, FCT Abuja, has ordered that the former governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Godwin Emefiele, be remanded in Kuje prison pending the determination of his request for bail. Emefiele will remain in prison until November 22, when the court will deliver a ruling on his bail motion. His lead counsel, Matthew Buruka, SAN, moved the application for bail, which Rotimi Oyedepo vehemently opposed on behalf of the federal government. After taking arguments for and against the application, Justice Muazu said that a bench ruling could not be delivered in view of the plethora of authorities cited by the two parties. The judge said that he needed a little time to study the authorities and pursue through the exhibits supplied by Emefiele to support his request for bail. Following the September 8 gruesome murder of SP Bako Angbashim, a divisional police officer of Ahoada Division in Rivers State, some suspects in custody have been arraigned at the State High Court sitting in Port Harcourt, the state capital, on Friday. Among those arraigned were the former chairman of Ahoada East Local Government Area, Kasidi Ikwegbidi, and over 50 other suspects. The charges included murder, attempted murder, cultism, armed robbery, and kidnapping, among others. Counsel to the defendants urged the court to grant bail to his clients, but this was opposed by the prosecution counsel, who argued that the defendants could not be bailed at first appearance because of the gravity of the charges. After listening to both parties, the presiding judge, Sika Henry Apurioku, ordered that they be remanded on the Port Harcourt Correctional Center. The case has been adjourned to November 21, 2023 for plea and consideration of bail. On security matters now, 6 bandits have been killed in a clearance operation by troops of 1 Division Nigerian Army and Operation Wild Punch. The bandits were said to have met their death on 16th November 2023 when troops carried out an offensive clearance operations to bandits' strongholds. The acting deputy director, 1 Division Nigerian Army, Lieutenant Colonel Musa Yahaya, said in a statement that the troops recovered 2 AK-47 rifles, 4 AK-47 rifle magazines, 14 rounds of 7.62 mm ammunition, 40 pairs of bandit uniforms, and 9 motorcycles. He said, acting on credible intelligence, troops carried out an offensive clearance operation to bandits' strongholds in Sabumbirni, Dogondawa, Saulawa, Maidaru, Ngede Allah, and Kidenda, and all in Birningwari local government area of Kaduna State, and made contact with bandits. The general officer commanding 1 Division Nigerian Army and Force Commander Operation Wild Punch, Major General Valentine Okoro, has applauded the troops for their gallantry and charged them not to relent until all terrorists, bandits, and other criminal elements in the division's area of responsibility are completely neutralized. One person died on Friday when a commercial bus rammed into a truck along the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. The Federal Road Safety Corps confirmed the incident in Abeokuta, the Ogun State capital. Florence Okwe, the FRSC spokesperson in Ogun, says that the incident occurred at about 6 p.m. after Danko filling station. According to her, 3 persons were involved in the crash, all male adults. While 1 person died in the crash, 2 others were rescued with no injuries. The Mazda commercial bus crashed into a truck while speeding. You're watching the news update on Trust TV. Coming up shortly. Protest trails controversial LGBTQ agreement signing in Plateau. Details and more after the break.
As night falls in Abuja, the city's dark side comes to life. The speedy underworld of commercial sex work is flourishing in Nigeria's capital city. Despite the dangers and health hazards, young women join the trade every day in hopes of earning quick money and a life of luxury.
Every day, when I wake up, I used to ask myself, why am I doing this kind of thing? If I see myself on the street, I used to shed tears every day.
They say their families have no idea what they do, while their tears suggest some remorse, maybe pain and even regret. These ladies hope others will learn from their story.
We started manufacturing leather since 1958. But the most important thing is that if the system is checked correctly, we won't have where we are now.
If somebody has depression, they may just be very irritable and unproductive in the office. So you find on average already about 1 in 4, 1 in 5 Nigerians already have a mental illness, a mental health condition that needs some form of attention.
No matter how good an economy is, if the federal government goes bust, believe me, everything in the economy is just a matter of time it will go bust. So first of all, about maybe slightly above, below 70% is in federal government securities.
If government has banned importation of fertilizer and states are doing it at the level of governance, but I believe that production and distribution of fertilizer should be left to the private sector.
This is the general multi-purpose card and it has a chip here. So this chip is about 80 kilobytes. The one that you get from the bank for 8 years is just 4 kilobytes. So this is like 20 times.
Welcome back. You're watching the news update on Trust TV. Let's take a look at the top stories again. Now, appeal court sacks Governor Abba Kabir of Kano State. Court remands former CBN Governor Emefiele in Kuje prison. In other news, now, Nasarawa State Command of the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps has arrested 21 suspects and cultists terrorizing the Lafia metropolis. Abubakar Abdullahi reports that the suspects killed 1 person and inflicted machete wounds on several others. His report is presented from our studio.
Cultism is one of the crime security agencies are working day and night to curtail in the society. Nasarawa State is no exception to the menace, as at different times security agencies have arrested and prosecuted members of courts who have engaged in criminal activity. There has been a recent clampdown on court activities at different locations of Lafia metropolis as its outskirts, which has led to the arrest of members of these illicit groups. Jerry Victor, the public relations officer of the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps in the state, narrates recent breakthroughs of the command.
This was as a result of incessant attack meted to individuals in the state, which led to the death of one Musa Abdul Karim, a 19-year-old, at Rimi Uku, Doma Road, Lafia, Nasarawa State.
The NSCDC PRO explained that the suspected cultists were found with locally made pistol, cutlasses, and other weapons which they used in perpetrating crimes.
This is the cartridge that this local made pistol is used. As you can see, it is a very known cartridge, that is being used on this locally made pistol. And of course, some knife, and then we have scissors and the rest. These are the kind of things they usually use to perpetrate this kind of crime.
The PRO maintained that efforts are on by the command to arrest more accomplices of the suspects in order to get rid of such crime in the state. Some of the suspects interviewed, who admitted to inflicting machete cuts on their victims, pleaded for mercy. The suspects are expected to face charges as soon as investigations are completed on their alleged offenses.
A group of concerned teachers and students in Jos, the Plateau State capital, have appealed to the federal government and heads of Africa, Caribbean, Pacific states against signing the European Union and Africa, Caribbean and Pacific countries partnership agreement on lesbianism, gay marriage, bisexuals, transgender and queer LGBTQ. The group made the plea in Jos on Wednesday during a peaceful walk to create awareness on the partnership agreement that Nigeria and other African countries were approached to sign. Ado Musa reports.
In their respective submissions during the peaceful protest, the students and their teachers believe that if Nigerian government succumb to the European Union's call and sign the LGBTQ agreement, it will spell doom for the country. The group is dissatisfied with an alleged plan by the Nigerian government to sign the pact, arguing that it is primarily aimed at destroying Nigeria and other African countries.
African nation and the ACP, African, Caribbean and Pacific nations, and because there's a subtlety in that agreement that introduces LGBT ideology. And I want to know that that is war against a nation. It's war against our family. It's war against the children's destiny. And schools should rise up. Parents should rise up. Well-meaning Nigerians rise up.
I can't imagine my 2-year-old daughter being taught how to have sex. It's sick. It's crazy. They want to destroy the society. They want to destroy the moral fabric of our society. And we say no to it. We don't accept it and we don't want it. God has given us wisdom on how to raise our children as parents. And so I don't need anybody coming to tell me how to raise my own children.
The purpose of this protest is that this morning we woke up to hear a very sad and disheartening news that there's going to be a bill signed to support the rights of LGBTQ. And this bill is going to be enforced on each and every one of us without our consent.
The group therefore urged President Tinubu and other stakeholders in the country to avoid signing the agreement. Ado Musa, Trust TV News, Jos.
Now, in a reaction, the federal government of Nigeria, through the office of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, has debunked claims that Nigeria has signed the Samoa Agreement, believed to tolerate and protect the rights of homosexuals, transgenders, and other unconventional sexual behaviors. The Samoa Agreement is a partnership deal between member states of the Organization of Africa, Caribbean and Pacific states and the European Union that covers 6 key priority areas: human rights, democracy and governance, peace and security, human and social development, environmental sustainability and climate change, inclusive and sustainable economic growth and development, and migration and mobility. The ministry clarified that Nigeria was not represented at the signing and is currently scrutinizing the pact's alignment with the country's domestic laws. Francisca Omayuli, spokesperson, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, said Nigeria was not represented at the signing ceremony, which took place in Samoa on Wednesday, November 15, 2023, and hence has not signed the agreement. On the foreign scene, a magnitude 6.7 earthquake struck the southern Philippines on Friday, killing one person, injuring dozens and damaging buildings. The quake struck off Mindanao Island at a depth of 60 kilometers, according to the German Research Center for Geosciences. Angel Dugaduga, a disaster response official in the coastal town of Glan near the epicenter, said at least one person died and 18 others were injured, based on an initial report. The town's municipal office building and gymnasium were also damaged from the quake, and electricity had been knocked out by the tremor. Now, Duga added that earthquakes are common in Philippines, which lies on the Ring of Fire, a belt of volcanoes cycling the Pacific Ocean that is prone of seismic activity. The earthquake lasted several seconds as residents were advised to be on alert for aftershocks as strong as magnitude 6.2. And in sports news, the Premier League has deducted 10 points from Everton following an investigation into a breach of profit and sustainability rules. The Goodison Park club insists that they are shocked and disappointed by the punishment and will appeal. An official club statement says both the harshness and severity of the sanction imposed by the Commission are neither a fair nor a reasonable reflection of the evidence submitted. The deduction is the largest in the history of the Premier League. Now, it takes immediate effect, plunging Sean Dyche's team into the relegation zone. And that wraps up the news update at this hour. You can watch more via all our social media platforms and also on our YouTube live stream. I am Ayuba Ile. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.